Hi, I'm Ray Brown, and I'm standing in one of my favorite, in front of one of my favorite Indianapolis landmarks. This colonnade is a memorial to Thomas Taggert, who was very, very important in the history of Indianapolis. And he was the founder of the city park system. In fact, Riverside Park, and this was the original entryway to the park, is officially known as the Thomas Taggert Memorial Park. More about that later. A little bit about the man himself. Thomas Taggert was an Irish immigrant who came to the United States and settled first in Ohio and then in northern Indiana. He came to Indianapolis in the 1870s, and for a while he operated a restaurant at the Union Depot. Short time later, he entered politics and became Marion County Auditor. And in 1895, he became the mayor of Indianapolis. And he was an extremely popular mayor. And during his tenure, he founded the park system, as I indicated earlier. The park system was based on a plan by the famous landscape artist or architect, George Kessler, who built a series of boulevards connecting a string of parks. This included Riverside Park, Garfield, Ellenberger, and others around the city. Thomas Taggert went on, when he left the office of mayor, when he left that, he went on to become chairman of the Democratic National Committee, and he nominated Thomas R. Marshall, very famous Hoosier from Newcastle, to be vice president of the United States. Later on, he ran for governor, but because of his anti-Klan stance, he was defeated, and Ed Jackson, a pro-Klan governor, was elected instead. Following that period in his life, Taggert and a friend of his, Crawford Fairbanks, went on to found the French Lick Spa and Resort in southern Indiana, which also included a world-class gambling casino. And movie stars and sometimes crime figures such as Al Capone would take trains from Chicago and elsewhere down to French Lick. So he was instrumental in establishing that institution as well. Now, this memorial at one time was the official entryway into Riverside Park, and as you can see over here, it had a fountain which no longer works, and this beautiful colonnade, which is in pretty decrepit condition, was used as a photo op by generations of Indianapolis residents. After a wedding or during a family reunion, people would stand here and have their picture taken. Also, concerts were given from this locale, and people would sit on the other side in front and listen to the music. It was also beautifully landscaped, and there are a series of old Indianapolis postcards which feature this memorial in its heyday. And it was really in mint condition at the time, and it was, as I said, one of the prime sights to see in the Hoosier City. There is a move on by Historic Landmarks of Indiana to raise, I think it's $2.5 million, or they may be more than that now though, to restore the memorial and to provide for its upkeep. And the idea is to restore the memorial itself and the fountain and then landscape lighting to make it really worth seeing once again. So this is another example of a resource that our city has allowed to decline, and if it were restored, it would be a treasure for the entire city as well as the surrounding neighborhood here. So hopefully that's going to happen soon. I know Historic Landmarks in the past few years has stabilized the roof of the structure, but the rest of it needs considerable amount of work. So here it is, the Thomas Taggert Riverside Park Memorial.